Hello, algebra students. Another quick final review video. This one's on the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem is extremely important. Remember, it says that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The most important part about this formula is identifying c. Kids will often say c is the side they're looking for, and they're dead wrong. Well, not dead wrong. They're just wrong. Okay, it's the hypotenuse. Oh, I'm not spelling that right. The hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is the longest leg of a right triangle. Pythagorean theorem only applies to a right triangle, and it's the longest side. The best way to find the hypotenuse, if you're not sure, is to go to the right angle and draw a line from the angle. The side you hit is the hypotenuse. So you see I've done that, okay? Now, to figure this out, I'm simply going to fill in the information given. This will help me find the side of x. Now, A and B don't matter. It doesn't matter which is A and which is B. This one here is C. C is unknown. A and B, A could be 8, B could be 7. And again, B could be 8 and A is 7. It doesn't matter. Mathematically, they'll come out the same. So I'm going to do 7 squared plus 8 squared, and that's going to equal x squared. Or you could put c squared if you like. All right, so that'll be 49 plus 64 equals x squared. I'll combine the like terms, and let me see if that was 50. It'd be 113. 114 would be 113. There we go. Okay. Now, to get x, because I don't know, pardon me. Sorry about that. To get x, I have to undo the square. Well, I undo that using a root. And I'm going to a calculator on this one. And so I'm going to take the square root of 113 now. We're limited to the positive square root because we can't have a negative side of a triangle. So I do the square root of 113, and I'll hit enter, and then we get about 10 and 63 hundredths. So, come on, get it. What's wrong? Where are you? Oh, it's coloring. I don't want to color. All right, so x will be approximately 10 and 6300. So I didn't give any labels, so you could just say units long. All right. Problem 2 here is done the same way. C in this case, though, is 25. A and B don't matter. So I'm going to do x squared for A, B squared equals C squared. And I'm going to square everything, and so I'm going to get x squared plus 596. I better check that. No, it's 576, isn't it? I better check it. Where's my mouse? It's 576, now that I remember. Let's see here. 24 squared to the second power is 576. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I better change that 96 to a 76. All right. And then this will be 625. So subtract 576 from both sides. And I think I'm going to get 49 here, right? Gotta borrow. I gotta borrow again. And so yeah, it's going to be 49. Take the positive square root, and x is going to equal 7 units, inches, or whatever. Okay, this one here, again, identify C first. It looks like C is going to be 17. So I can do x squared plus 8 squared equals 17 squared. Therefore, x squared plus 64 equals 289. And when I subtract 64, I'm going to end up with x squared equaling 225. And I take the square root of both sides, and I get x equals 15. And again, we only want the positive square root because we can't have the negative side of a right triangle. Now, sometimes they'll give you a story problem, and these are so simple, they're just the Pythagorean theorem in disguise. It says an airplane flies 40 miles north. You know what? I'm going to show that. There it goes, 40 miles north. So this is 40. Okay, and then it turns and flies 60 miles east. So now it goes here, and that's 60 miles. How far is the plane from home? Well, a lot of you want to say 100 miles, and no, that's not correct at all, because the shortest distance from home is not 100 miles. The plane has flown 100 miles, but the shortest distance would be from here, where it started, to there. Okay, and if I put a variable in there, namely an x, I have a Pythagorean theorem problem. Yeah, problems like this are Pythagorean theorem all the way. So I'm going to do 40 squared plus 60 squared, and that's going to equal x squared, because that's the unknown side. Boom. All right. So let's see, 1600 plus 3600, 3600 equals x squared. Adding those together, 5200, I believe, equals x squared. And if you wanted to, you could simplify the rad on that, because you get 52 and 100. We could do that. Let's do that, an exact answer here. So I'm going to take the rad, and I'm going to simplify it. So x is going to be equal to the rad of 100 times 52. I know that this is 10 times 10, and I think there's a factor of 4 hiding in there. 4 times 13, yeah, 2652. So that's a 2 times 2. So out in front of the house, I'm going to have a 10 from there. I'm going to have a 2, and 13's left inside. And so the simplified exact answer would be 20 rad 13. Just throwing a simplifying rad in there. Now, if you wanted to give a distance, since it is asking about how far, then you could just go 20 rad 13, and you'll get your answer. So I'm going to do that, 20 rad. Hello? What can I do for you?
Are you recording?
I am.
Oh.
And so it would be about 72 and 1100 miles away from home. Now, remember, what was that number we got? 5,200? We could just take the square root of 5,200 and watch what we're going to get. We got the same exact number. So it's just a couple different ways to do it. All right, here's another one. Bob walks 3 miles south from his house. Well, I need to draw Bob's house. You know what a wonderful artist I am. Okay, and he goes 3 miles south. Then he walks another 3 miles. Turns west and walks another 3 miles. So then he goes 3 miles this way. Now, many of you are tempted to try to tell me that he's 6 miles from home, and that's absolutely incorrect, because you have to use the Pythagorean theorem. We're assuming, or not assuming, we're asking for the shortest distance to his house, and the shortest distance would be in a straight line. Right? So we would go like this. So look at that. I made a right triangle. It's a Pythagorean theorem problem again. Put my right angle in, x. And if I draw from the right angle, I'm finding x. So remember, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And c is always the hypotenuse. So I'm going to have x squared there. I'm going to have 3 squared plus 3 squared. Well, this is 9 plus 9 equals x squared. 18 equals x squared. And I can take the square root. I know it's going to be a little bit more than 4, because the square root of 16 is 4 on the nose. And we're only dealing with the positive square root one more time, because the distance has to be a positive number. You could do a rad, and I think it would be, what, 3 rad 2? But let's go ahead and just use the calculator, since we need some miles. And so what was it? The square root of 18, positive square root of 18. So, oops, I don't need that parenthesis. I'm used to the old style calculator. Sorry about that. All right, and we get about 4 and 24 hundredths miles. So,
I'm not done.
anyway, so that's it for the video. Mr. Laurence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.